Alright, timestamp. It is March 22nd, 2026. It's a little after 11 a.m. Been up for a couple hours. Sleep was weird. I had about, honestly, 8 or 9 hours, but it was in and out. I know at one point there was Stones of Blood. At one point there was Robots of Death. Woke up to Mask of It's the one with the helix energy that follows the TARDIS back to Renaissance Italy. Creepy cult. Good stuff. Good stuff to wake up to. Really nice robes, though. Banging costume department. Nothing quite like waking up to monks trying to do a, human sacrifice on Sarah Jane Smith. That's nice. Just one of my favorite radio stations playing in the background, Woke up with a mild panic attack. I'm pretty much okay now. But, yeah. My kid, Alex, came out a little while ago getting coffee. We're doing some vanilla cream brulee, ghetto style, because I'm so busy with eBay and the bivouac. It always reminds me of the G.I. Joe playset bivouacs. They're like little lean-to tent kind of things that my dad built over there. If you saw previous videos, whatnot, you know what I'm talking about. And I was working on that in eBay. So I didn't really hit the garage. Too busy with two other priority ones of the, 60 priority one list that I have. But Alex, he's a sweet kid. He came out and he's like, "Did you wake up with a panic attack again?" I'm like, "Yeah, a mild one." He's like, "I know this doesn't probably help, but you're handling it pretty well. And you get used to them, but, they still suck, but..." And he's like, "I understand." It's like, I get them too, and they're not easy. But, if you need to talk or anything, I understand it. It's like, "Oh, thanks, kiddo." So that was kind of cool exchange. Got good kids. They've got their issues. We all do, right? Somehow we did pretty good with these. Jinx is contemplating moving the water bowl. But yeah, woke up, did the cat parade thing, topped everybody's bowls off. I've been sitting here poking away at things, dishes. I ran that when I went to bed last night, so they should be ready to just be pulled. I don't have enough to fill a load, but, I can at least get what is in the sink out of the sink. Did a huge pack of hot dogs and a couple of sausages that were like rogue in the fridge. Did those last night, so we're going to be grazing on that today. Probably while I contemplate the next Progresso. There's only like 8 cans left over there. Just been banging through them. Yeah. And I know what I'm I'm gonna do. There's a can of lentil soup over there. And one of the rogue things that I found, and this is our rogue, not their rogue, not my parents. We occasionally will get the, it's in a white box with like red trim, has a like window in the front where you can see them packed, whatnot. It's called lumberjack sausage. And those are so good. They're really, really good to like dice up and use like hard frying, like using a soup or something like that. And lentil would go great with a really good smoked pork sausage, which is what that is. I know I'm gonna do. And that would be a good thing for over rice. A really thick lentil soup with sausage. And I think I have some lentil beans too. I could even add that to, you know, maybe a little bit of celery add and some onion. Get some other, you know, ingredients in there to add some vitamins. Uh-oh. How much is he? He does have a waggedy tail. You done, sir? Oh, you're both here. Okay. Scrap. Go on, Dan. Yep. Yep, we used up the bacon. Oh no! We have to use jerky now. They love the jerky. It's not exactly a hardship. I know, right? Gently. Very nice. Go, sir. Ready? Nice. Good job. Oh. There's a Jinx in the house. He is well trained. Your weird one, Mr. Jinx. You really are so strange. There you go, Kaiser. Kaiser came over. Anybody else? You feel like Tobey Maguire. Cookie time. I'm not paying for that. Well, I got all kinds of happy animals over here. Now, Queenie, you gotta get off your dais and come join us if you want a cookie. I don't actually do delivery. The Tobey Maguire reference was just for funsies. Queenie has parked herself on one of the boxes in the middle of the kitchen, and that is just kind of her raised dais. She surveys her kingdom and is, in general, a pain in the ass, because she'll want pets, so as you're passing by she'll stretch out a claw, grab onto your shirt, as if to say, "Oh, I'm not done with you." And then if she doesn't retract, she gets pulled off onto the floor and winds up licking herself. It's all a thing. If you have cats, you understand. Yep, the jerky's good, I know. Scrappy's looking at me like, is there more? Yeah, one per customer, pal. So very shortly, it's 11:20 something. I'm gonna head out to the Lanai. I got six totes checked, repacked, packed smart, and I have 2 empty totes now. I have 1 broken tote that, nope, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, brittle. Exactly. Yeah, I pulled it out from the shelf that it was on, and the whole handle part of it just went like a young Frankenstein doorknob in my hand. So that tote will not be back in circulation, but I got everything out of it. A lot of glassware, a lot of champagne glasses, some lead crystal, some country kitchen kind of like that country blue that was so popular, some like teacups and stuff with that kind of design, dinner plates. For God's sake, of the 6 that I repacked, probably 4 of them were that. Not the country, but just glassware, plates in general. Just, my God, Mom, what? When we do start doing garage sales, help yourself, my God. So yeah, I made 6 totes, functional, smart. Got 2 empty. I've got 1 tote that it's a smaller tote, it's empty, but I'm using it to store all the extra newspaper that I've managed to pull off the stuff. There'd be a beer mug, pretty standard, more ale, clear beer mug kind of thing. And they would have used an entire, newspaper fold out. Sometimes there's another fold out inside, 4 pages basically. They'd use the entire thing to roll it. So it becomes this massive newspaper, and there is a glass in there in the tote. And it's like, okay, it doesn't need that much as long as you're not throwing it off the back of a truck. 1 sheet will be functional because the next thing will also have 1 sheet around it, and subsequently 1 sheet. So, I'm pulling that out, ripping it, taking 1, and now I have 3 extra. So I've got a small tote that's loaded with extra newspaper, which actually came in handy because I found 1 tote that had glasses across the top, which weren't wrapped at all. They were just kind of nestled in there on the top layer where there was newspaper stuff underneath. Interesting stuff too. Back in the 70s, Pizza Hut used to be, they did do takeout, and delivery was starting to become more of a thing. I was a little kid in the 70s. Pizza Hut used to be more of a sit-down restaurant. And I know there probably still are some out there, but we've gone away from that a bit. And they used to do a lot of collector glasses. And on the top layer, those glasses, there were some Care Bear ones from 1976. They're probably ones that we got, because you could get, they had the red plastic Coke, rattle, rattle, rattle when you put ice in them. The red plastic Coca-Cola ones that were kind of their standard. They did pictures. They'd bring pictures to your table and all that. But when they were doing collector glasses, you could ask for the collector glasses, and it would bump up $1 per on your ticket or whatever. And I know that we did get a lot of those when I was a kid at a lot of the different restaurants. And I want to say these might even be from us going to Pizza Hut as a kid. Me being a kid. My parents weren't kids in the 70s. They were kids in the 40s. Was Funshine Bear? There were a bunch of Funshine Bears. There was 1 Grumpy Bear, which I have a feeling when all this is said and done and we actually get to that tote, Pix might actually go, I want that. They're from 1976. Oh, that was another one too. Cheer Bear? Good Cheer Bear? I think it might have been Good Cheer or Cheer Bear. I don't know the Care Bears as well. I know Good Luck Bear. I like him. He's green with a shamrock. Not Irish, but I always become a lucky guy. But I know my wife has a thing for Grumpy Bear. He's light blue with I think a storm cloud kind of thing going on. we're just so polar opposite in many ways. Her favorite dwarves are grumpy and dopey. Mine are happy and Doc. We're worlds apart, but somehow it just works. There was something else. There was a couple of. It was a Pepsi promotion of some sort, and I'm guessing it was from the 70s. There was a Aquaman. It's kind of like a tall Pilsner, a glass that kind of flanges out a little bit. There was a Wonder Woman and an Aquaman. It was some kind of a Super Pepsi-like promotion, from what I remember on there. There were some Winnie the Pooh glasses. There was something else, but I can't remember what it was. Somewhere around here, we probably got some great Muppet Caper glasses. Because I remember we got a butt ton of those when I was a kid. I don't even remember who did the promotion there. And we should have some, we should have some Empire Strikes Back glasses, which I want to say was a Burger King thing. And I actually sold a few sets of those over the years because I had a bunch. But there still probably are several sets here somewhere, maybe like a half dozen to a dozen sets. Because we got so many of those, and they're actually worth some money. If you look up Burger King Empire Strikes Back glasses, they're worth some money. I want to say there's like a 3PO and R2. I think there's like a Lando Calrissian and Boba Fett. Each glass kind of has 2 characters on it. There's 4 in the set. I can't remember them all. I think there's a Luke and Leia set. It might be a Han and Chewie. That might be Han and Chewie, Luke and Leia, 3PO and R2, and then Lando and like Boba Fett, Darth Vader kind of thing. Like the whole Cloud City collection of characters. It seems right. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've actually looked at them. Like, honestly, 20 years since I sold a set. I think I had some at the shop. I think I sold a set at the shop. I sold them for like $150. A set of 4. We got some value. Because, it's a real Empire Strikes Back item from 1980 Burger King, And being that they're glass, many of the ones that were produced have probably broken between, now and then. So when the supply dwindles, the value can go up. It's like comic books, As time goes on and there's, moisture and ripping and silverfish and things like that, there's less and less good quality comic books of the old ones. Oh yeah, we're doing some Bugs Bunny mug that I fell in love with. There's nothing really special about it, but I love the colors on it. It's a beautiful Kermit green, like a celery green, and then that yellow, the like vibrant lemon yellow kind of thing in the middle and the inside. Love it. And it's got the guy on it, so this just makes me think of like a Letterman jacket, though. The whole uppercase bold. It's like it should be on a Letterman jacket, kind of. Where do you go? Bunny high. But yeah, a lot of glasses and plates and stuff. But yeah, I used some of the newspaper that I had salvaged, I guess would be a good word here, and actually wrapped those appropriately. Because, why not? Exactly, right? And I walked the area on the lanai that we're clearing out with Tiny and gave instructions to create some new areas to be able to stack So we're trying to like stack in the corner and then build back from it, but we've got to go through the stuff that's in the way so that we can, it all makes sense, trust me. But I'm going through that strip on the, I'm just going to call it the bivouac. I don't know what else to call it. There are so many weird nooks and crannies that my dad created here. But I'm going to try and go ahead and strip the bivouac, because we can still do some tote storage there as long as we're not stupid. One of the totes is air drying, sun drying right now. It was on the bottom of the stack and perfectly sealed. I mean, as sealed as a tote can be. And somehow there was about 8 inches of standing water in the bottom, and just slimy newspaper wrapped like lead crystal stuff. Some nice lead crystal pieces, but it was just wrapped in slimy newspaper. The whole thing was saturated. I don't know how. The physics of it is very confusing for me. It's a perfectly intact tote, no cracks or anything that I can see. It was on the bottom of a stack, and it was a swamp. And I don't know how the water got in there, much less collected on such a grandiose scale. I'm very confused by this. So I pulled it, dumped it, and Tiny took it to like rinse out because it's slimy. Slimy. I mean, my hands, I washed them immediately and wanted to like dip them in bleach. But I've got the lead crystal stuff. It kind of got hosed off, and I've got it like sun drying right now. Some nice like wine decanter kind of stuff, you know, like nice pieces. I'm confused on the storage mishap. I don't understand how that happened. Weird. So I'll need to wrap those when I do put them in a tote, but I'm gonna let them sanitize first, because ew. But yeah, so I probably killed off 10 plus totes out there. Remade 6. I have 2 empty, one that just needs a priest, and one that I'm using for newspaper storage. Because, yeah, that's a good problem to have. I'm going to need it. I know it. Yeah. See if I can knock out another 5 or 10 boxes out there today, and then shift gears again to eBay. Got about 10 things listed yesterday. Got 7 sales to go out. Yeah, 7 to go out on Monday, which, good problem to have. A little jingle in the jangle, we need it. Luther definitely threw a monkey in the wrench there. Was not expecting that $2,000 kidney curveball, but so far so good. Got another text from my girl last night. He looks like he's doing okay. He's gingerly going pee, but he is going pee. So, crisis averted, we think, we hope. All of his tests came back really good, so feeling pretty optimistic about this. Saved his life, so that's good. That's good. We'll make the rest of it work. We'll make it work. Right? So my wife should be on her mom call right now, which I miss being on the mom call. My mother-in-law is wacky and awesome. I did get in one package yesterday. This should be and I'm not sure the pronunciation. Ayla Secura. She's one of the Jedis. And I don't know the race. I I always thought she was pretty cool looking. So I am kind of trying to get a contingency of Jedis that I think are cool. I still want to get a good Shakti, I think her name is, the Devil Woman. I think she's awesome. I need to get a good Kit Fisto. I want to get a good, yeah. And I'd love to get a, was it Luminera? I think she's pretty cool. Here, kitty. Kidding, I don't do that. I did it once, many, many years ago, to see if the oh my god, terror was legit. It is. They hate it. Don't do that. Bubble wrap. She's so small. She came accessory-less, but that's okay, because I've got, and I'm sure a lot of them are like 3D printed from China, whatnot. I picked up a pack on eBay years ago now, like 100 lightsabers. So they may not be the lightsaber that figure came with, because they're kind of standard generic stock, but they still look good, so I'm not too worried about it. It's having a hard time focusing on her, isn't it? Maybe if I move out, it'll stop trying to do my face. Nope, didn't help. Okay. She looks good. Not in a, like pervy sort of way. I mean, although... a little bit of paint wear, but I'm not too worried about that. Figure seems intact. She does have her belt, which I did see a couple listed where she didn't even have that, and I was like, come on. Yeah, no, she's cool. She's cool. So. Yeah. Yeah, I don't need every figure out there, but there are a few here and there that I'd like to get a hold of. There's a couple of Kit Fistos that I'm watching right now. And I can look her up online and see what color lightsaber she needs, because the pack that I got, again, it was like 100, and it had, a bunch of red, bunch of blue, bunch of green, and a bunch of yellow. So, it's kind of the standard. No orange, white, or purple or anything like that, but the basics. That last mixed lot that I got in, I did get in a couple of Mace Windows, and they had, each one had their lightsaber, which is cool, because that I didn't have a lightsaber for, I have like 1 or 2 Mace Windu figures. Eventually I'm going to sit down and figure out which 1 or 2 that I want to keep out of the like 4 that I have. That's for another day. But I didn't have, his purple lightsaber, and now I do. So that made me pretty happy. Yes, because you can buy them like 3D printed from China, because you can buy just about anything 3D printed from China. But I'm willing to bet this one's actually legit, because he does have, his lightsaber does have like a more, it's an unusual hilt design than the standard, like, stock one kind of thing. Because if you're into this sort of thing, you know that the lightsabers are very, very individualized. It's like a signature. You can, somebody, not me, who knows what they're doing, can look at the hilt of a lightsaber and tell you what Jedi it belongs to. They're very, very distinct. And they did that even for like some of the background Jedi that you don't really have a lot of interaction with, may not even know their names. They had very distinct hilt designs. You see that in like Attack of the Clones and whatnot. Each one is their own character. So, but I'll see if I've got one that at least comes close to matching. I'm not even sure what color her lightsaber is actually. I remember when the General Order came through, that whole scene is just heartbreaking though. Because I think she was like walking through a jungle type thing when suddenly everybody behind her wasn't on the same page that she was, if you know what I mean. Honey, I've been that guy before. That sucks. Everybody's pointing guns but me. Ruh-roh. Quick, fast talk. Hey there, handsome. Mm-hmm. That's the stuff. But yeah, we'll do the lentil. I'm going to chop up the lumberjack, fry it up with the lentil. Not today, we got hot dogs and sausages like mad. There's like 30 in there. But it's me and two piranha. Two teenage piranha basically, so that'll get us through the day. Maybe into tomorrow, probably into tomorrow, but just like barely, like sunrise they're gone kind of thing. I know how this is. They're, I mean, Alex is 23, but with the autism, he's kind of like a late teens in a lot of his tude. Brilliant kid, but, he's still my kid, too. But, yeah, no, they both eat like piranha. So, despite the volume, tomorrow, sunrise, maybe by noon, they're gone. So, yeah, the lumberjack. Yeah. Make a nice thick lentil soup. Very high in protein. Probably iron as well. I think. A lot of your beans, or legumes or whatever. Be a good rice dish. Yeah. Almost through all the Progressos. I'm so proud of myself on this. And I know I would have gotten through them if, we hadn't become ninja blacksmith or locksmiths. Blacksmiths too, because we cut locks off, apparently. Like, I was talking with somebody online yesterday, and she's like, I've seen some of your stuff, and I'm concerned because my husband's starting to go through some early Alzheimer's symptoms, and I'm getting concerned because, I'm in unfamiliar territory. I'm like, just make sure that you get everything documented and that you have everything in stone with dry ink. That way, when the weird paranoia and stuff starts setting in, things can't get changed behind your back to where you are powerless. Because you might be his best friend right now, and you might remain his best friend. Then again, you may become an adulteress or a thief. Because the paranoia can do weird things. They will invent stuff to make you the enemy. And it's not a guarantee. I hope and pray for you that he looks on you as the one person that he trusts and that everyone else is out to get him, but you never would, because that is possible too. I've seen that in talks with some people over the past few years, where they thought that everyone else was out to get them, but they latched onto me knowing that I wouldn't hurt them. And if that happens for you, bless. Just reassure them and guide them through what's going to be a really ugly, rough path. But if they decide that you are in fact one of the villains in their life, you need to make sure that you can actually handle things. You need to make sure that you've got all the paperwork in place to where he cannot pull the rug out from under you and suddenly is adrift with either no help, as kind of was the case with my parents, or someone else cons their way into his life and becomes his hero, which may or may not have happened a little bit with like Chuck the Wonder Idiot and such. Because my mom was leaning on him a bit here and there, because Pix and I couldn't be trusted. So, suddenly Chuck kind of became the person that she would trust and go to, and it's like, he's an opportunistic con artist, and you are convinced that your kid is out to get you. And I can't break through the cognitive decline to convince you otherwise. This could be better, when they have strokes and things of that nature and the cognitive decline happens, the stroke causes a hole in the brain. Literally, I'm not even making this up. It causes a hole in the brain and brain damage. Right? There is no saying where this is going to go. It is a dice roll at this point. It's hard to say what part of the brain is going to get affected, and it's hard to say how they're going to pivot from it. Are they going to not be able to walk, or are they just going to think that you are the Antichrist? Either one of these are real possibilities. So, yeah, but we had a pretty long talk. It's just like, make sure you've got everything in place, because medical science can't even tell you where this path is going to go. But it will be exactly what you didn't expect. That I can guarantee you. Just because, God, the universe, has a peculiar sense of humor regarding this sort of thing. So, well, I'm going to finish my coffee. And I'm going to... Yesterday was a 2-brick day. I'm going to go for 2 bricks again. Feeling good. Making some progress here. It still looks like a dumpster fire, but I see what we're doing, Tiny's making good progress out there. We're getting our bricks in. This is still not a 2-week project, but we'll get it. So, all of that being said, hug your parents, hug your kids. May the force be with you. And make it a great day.